Thanks for choosing Diamond Lighting and welcome to your new permanent LED system. Let's get you connected to the app. Once you've connected to your lighting system, you can find the power button in the top right-hand corner. Just like a TV remote, one click turns the entire system off and on. The second thing you'll see is our brightness slider. We recommend leaving it between 80 to 100% as it'll still give you the full effect, but might just extend the life of your lights. However, you can choose whichever one you want. Lastly, you'll find all of the solid colors. For example, we have it on WW warm white, but if I wanted to change it to red, it'll change the entire system in solid colors. You won't find any of the patterns on the first page, only the solid colors. That being said, moving on to the second page, we can find the patterns. Everything that shows up on our pattern page is a folder. For example, the first folder, all white colors, when I click onto it, we won't see any effects change on the house as we've just opened the folder. Now inside here, we can choose any of the patterns that we want. For example, this one is simply just a white static pattern. However, if I choose one of the holiday effects, such as Canada Day, it'll bring up the Canada Day folder, and I can choose any of the patterns in the folder. Let's choose the first one. It'll give you a little diagram on the app, and then it'll reflect on the house. For this pattern specifically, it says the mode is static. If I want to customize the patterns even further, I can click onto it and choose each of the effects. This pattern is set to static, which means it's not going to move. However, we have dozens of moving effects that you can choose from. I'll be honest, I haven't even gone through them because there's so many. If we back out now, the third page is the download folder. If we click this, it'll look pretty identical to the pattern page. However, we won't be able to be changing any of the colors on the house from this page, as this is just going to show what we have downloaded and undownloaded at the time. If we click onto the same Canada Day folder, we can see we have all of these folders already downloaded, but there's a few that aren't. Every few months, the app gets an update and they'll add new preset patterns. So go ahead and check this out, and you can go ahead and download all of the undownloaded folders, and this will pop back up on your old patterns page. For the sake of this video, I'll skip over the music as this only applies when you're connected through Bluetooth. And lastly is the timer in the bottom right-hand corner. If you click timer in the top, if we click timer in the top right-hand corner here, we can click the big blue plus to add our timers so that we can schedule the lights to come on every day. The first thing you got to do is give the timer a name. I'll put test for the sake of the video. And then the second line item asks us to choose a pattern. Here we can choose a lighting color, a pattern, or something custom. If I want to go ahead and add that same Canada Day pattern that we previously went to, we can just go ahead, choose our pattern, and click save in the top right-hand corner. Automatically, it will select it to come on every day. However, you can pick and choose which days specifically you want them on, or if you click the year button, you can give it a date range. This is good around the holidays or if you know you have an event coming up. The last thing is the time that we want the pattern to come on. It'll auto-select the time that it is currently. However, you can have it come on at sunset and turn off at sunrise, but I usually recommend just whenever you're going to bed so they don't need to run all night. The last step is to click save in the top right-hand corner, and just like an alarm on your phone, it'll save as an item here. You can see this little blue button in the corner, which will mean if it's active or not. We recommend only having one timer active at a time since they'll overlap and could cause some issues.